Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Justin, aka MOONSIDE, a sound and visual artist from Charlotte, North Carolina. You are now tuned in to a new web series called From Scratch, a series where I build a beat from the ground up. In today's episode, we sampled track 8 titled Blush from the 2022 album Foam by the artist Ulla. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this session. So the first thing that I did was chop up the sample inside the Mimic Creative Sampler inside of Reason Studios. Again, I took Ulla's album Foam, the song Blush, and I put it inside of the sampler here, and I clicked on to the slice mode. For the slices, I brought up the percentage to about 68%. I messed around with the amp envelope, brought it up a little bit, and I messed around with the EQ, brought the low cut and the high cut up just a little bit, and I messed around with the compressor, brought it up to about 14%. I'm going to go ahead and show you all the chops laid out on the keyboard here, and then I'll show you in the sequencer what I actually chopped up. And this is what I have for the chop altogether. It's at 75 BPM, as you can see on the screen, and this is what I got. I thought about what I wanted for this track, and I thought adding more piano would be a good idea because I really like the piano chops in the Ulla sample. I decided to take a radical piano inside of Reason Studios, and I used the Cotton Pluck preset. I turned the volume up to about 85, and I don't think I really messed around with any of the parameters here. I came up with this piano part. And sorry for my sloppy playing, but I'll play it for you in the sequencer here as well. So the next thing that I wanted to do was add some synth keys, and I'll go ahead and play those like solo really quick. It's literally just following the same thing that the piano is doing. I used the Parsec spectral synthesizer inside of Reason Studios, and I used the Ambientronic preset. It sounds beautiful. I love this preset so much. And I also, for the piano and the synth keys, I just altered them left and right. So the piano is 15 to the left, and the synth is 15 to the right. So I'll play that all together just to show you kind of what it sounds like. So the next thing that I moved on to was the drums, and I'll go ahead and solo out all of these drums just so I can show you what they sound like. As you can hear, there's a lot of panning going on. Even with the tambourine loop, it's going left to right. The toms are going left to right. So now I'll play the drums with the piano, the synth keys, and the sample. So the next thing that I worked on was the 808 and the synth bass. There's two bass parts in this track. There's this part, which I'll go ahead and play for you. And I used, again, another preset with the monotone bass synthesizer inside of Reason Studios, Bob Tube. So let's go ahead and listen to that. I threw on one of these Audiomatic transformers and I threw on the bottom preset and just brought that up to about 25, and I threw on a saturation knob. And then I added just a synth bass line that's like just giving some more backbone and sub. And for that, I used the Layers synthesizer. I used the preset Muffled Scream. And I didn't really even do anything to that. I just brought the master down a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of go in order and show you what I use for the instruments and just showing you the lines, because they're very tiny lines. And then I'll play the beat all together. So the acoustic guitar is the Ample Guitar M2 Lite, and I threw a layer preset on it, which is Lost Citadel, and I just brought the mix down to 30. For the guitar harmonics, I used the Spitfire Audio Labs, the Guitar Harmonics Plux, and I just brought this dynamic knob all the way up. I brought the volume level up a little bit, and I just messed around with the reverb on it. Then I used the baritone violin pizzicato, and that was another Spitfire Audio pack by Ravenbush called Moonglades, and the preset is baritone violin pizzicato delay. The next thing I added was the classic pluck strings preset and object, another synthesizer inside of Reason. The next thing I added was horns, and I used the Spitfire Audio, the BBC Symphony Orchestra. And then I added these little synth lines. And as you can tell, they're all placed in different parts. It's because I was really just filling out the spaces that needed some stuff. Because what I like to do when I make like an 8-bar loop is fill it up as much as I can, almost to the point where it feels like there's too much going on. Take each piece and kind of use it to arrange the beat however I see fit. And I used the Europa Fuzzy Skies preset. And then I added a super simple synth ARP to the parts where the guitar is playing. And also I panned this synth lead. This synth lead is panned 35 to the right, and this synth ARP is panned 35 to the left. This synth ARP is a Maelstrom preset called One Finger Fun. And then I added this little texture, which this texture is from a grain sample manipulator inside of Reason Studios. It's the preset Additive Evolution. And now I'm going to play everything all together. This is the beat from scratch, episode 1. Thank y'all so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with someone who might enjoy it. If you're interested in the DAW that I use, instruments or effects, or even listening to Ulla's album, please check out the links that I've left in the description below. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next episode.